picks coming on through. It is going to be JDG on the blue side with first pick. Malphite, Nico, and Jarvan already taken away. Is there a first pick that's screaming out to us?
I mean, Orianna. Oh, the virus is up, of course. Yeah, Orianna's banned. Perfect. I think that this is great because it's one of those AD carries I was talking about, Alk, that you can pair with Bard. IG would have to take it away here if they wanted to. In past times when Bard wasn't as prioritized, it was normally into things that are immobile. So picking away this Yunara early means that the Bard does lose a little bit of that catch potential.
And with Yunara picked, I do think JDG are going to have to ask themselves, do they want to go for an Enchanter? It's not the best with Poke Varus, but if we see that on-hit variant, then I think a lot of things start to open up for them. You also have to think about pairings going into Xin Zhao later on. Again, Enchanter's super strong here for Invictus Gaming as we go further here in the draft. JDG, though, we see the Hover the Azir. It was one of the most popular champions for Rookie last year, but he has yet to play this champion so far in 2026, and now it is being snapped up away from him.
Throwback to their game, well, their first series, sorry, IG versus JDG. Rookie picked Syndra into HongQ's Azir, and it did so much work in that game, denying the engage, stopping HongQ from getting onto the backline and finding those shuffles. So maybe Rookie goes towards something like that again. The LeBlanc Slam. This is aggressive. It means that you can't go Bard anymore, though, because it's too much mobility. It's not a good pick here. So Vampire would have to find something else to impact this game. A Nautilus would be good. Something that can lock down this LeBlanc.
Something... I like your Nautilus. I do think that maybe if you're trying to go for a little bit more lane, you could opt for the Braum. We'll see. We're still expecting an Enchanter here for Invictus Gaming, so whether or not JDG end up kind of slamming into that is going to be interesting. Also, if JDG opt to get rid of some more of these top lane champions, because Soboro has been somewhat of a weaker individual laner and been leaning more on some of those strong laners like the Cassante, like the Renekton.
With the Rumble ban, I mean, that kind of means Renekton's up next, and then we have been seeing, you know, last series, I can't remember who played, like, on which end of the matchup, at the BLG AL series where Gnar into Renekton is just destroying, so the Renekton priority may be falling down a little bit. We've seen the complete disappearance of Rek'Sai from the meta, and the blind Sion hasn't been getting through as much. It still is, but not a ton. But there's the Braum that you talked about, so Nautilus is up. Alistair as well is another thing that gives you guaranteed engage for JDG. It works okay with Varus. I think I'm a huge fan of on-hit Varus. I think it's way more fun, but JDG actually banning the Nautilus from themselves. So what do they have here?
This just means we're probably getting Alistar Rel. I mean, look at the compositions right now. It appears like IG want to try to, you know, go for somewhat of like a pick composition with LeBlanc and Xin Zhao being skirmishing 2v2. JG, though, we're going for full-on team fight. Let's utilize the poke of a Varus and a Nazir. This Bard, while it may not get value versus the LeBlanc, I think versus a Yunara and a Xin Zhao, that is incredible to see. So we're going to see a lot of great frontlining from this Pantheon and this Sion.
Yeah, the Alistair pick, the Rel has been like a really traditional, like a handshake trade, even though the Alistair does have a good hands up into that. But you just have no play into LeBlanc, but neither does the Bard really. So even though this, I love this draft from JDG. I love Vampire's confidence. It really speaks volumes to how confident this player is on Bard right now. It feels like the priority for Vampire is rising up a lot, but I'm worried, Alk, that the LeBlanc, that Rookie has no answer to him this game, that he will be able to do whatever he wants.
I'll posit one answer. Pantheon W is unmissable. So if Rookie flies forward and Pantheon decides, you know, maybe I should stun this guy, that is, I think, the only way we see Rookie get dealt with. I like what we have here from IG. I think you have some really good lanes to be able to maybe answer early on. Gwen versus Sion can be good, although Sion with the Soul Furnace can actually match her in lane a little bit until the first items come through. LeBlanc versus Azir should be strong enough for Rookie. It's just we get into side lanes, and I think IG are going to need to be really, really cognizant about what matchups they're taking, because LeBlanc into Azir is fine, Gwen into Azir is fine. I don't really think you want to be playing some of these matchups into the LeBlanc, especially later on. So LeBlanc into Sion, nothing's happening over there. Them brothers, Sion is standing there, he's going to clear the wave in front of you and walk away into Fog of War. So
yeah,
we're going to get into game here soon, Jack. But we're talking about late game. We're looking at JDG. I need to see IG do something early.
I mean, they have options, right? I mean, Alistair level 1 is not great, but Yunara can get the push. A roam with Xin Zhao and LeBlanc to impact this bot lane could be nice. And dragon stacking has been super important on this meta, on this patch. So, depending on if it's a good soul, might be something that IG can look for.
All right. Well, gentlemen, folks, ladies, we are going on to the Rift for game number 1 between JDG and Invictus Gaming.
Already the poke virus build this game, which makes sense. You're not a fan?
We were saying it earlier. You and I both really like the on-hit variant. And
I do like it.
And it's almost kind of a meme at this point, because I feel like every caster is like, oh man, I really like on-hit Varus. And then we get in the game and it's just like, cool, it's not on-hit Varus. Photic already having to lose the cleanse, not great. So Vampire finding that level 1. We talked about this going to be a very difficult lane for IG to play, and already it's already becoming a bit of an issue here.
Yeah, I think Yunara can find priority in some lanes, but Bard, Lethality Varus, probably not happening with the Comet early. Yeah, I think this is an okay game to go on hit. The only reason I think so is because I don't think you're really hitting LeBlanc with like stray Qs unless it's really through Fog of War. And having some of that tankiness from the on-hit build, you know, going a Wit's End or a Jackshot later on might be able to make you live through the burst, because there is a lot of burst from IG. They have consistent damage with the Gwen a little bit, but mostly from this Yunara. Rookie wants to look for one-shots, right? So if you're able to live through that with an on-hit build, might be good for Gala to go, but he wants the range, right? This is against the Gwen, against the Xin Zhao, who struggle with the range. Yet there is the Hollow Mist and the Crescent Guard to buy some time. This is something that Gen G did quite a lot in 2025, where they would play Gwen and Xin Zhao together. And the front line is, like, it does a lot of damage. It's not tanky, but it's so tough to get through because of the double invulnerability.
Does mean that you have to play a very fine line. You need to know when you're allowed to take damage. I think an important skill for any tank player in any role, and requires a certain bar of execution. We've seen some other teams. I think we had a draft the other night where it was a Gwen topside, and they just had no front line, and they got completely evaporated in team fights. So we'll see whether or not both junglers have path down towards the bottom side, but we can see already IG with the solo lanes they have. I think there's a very real possibility that Jwei just gets this bottom side scuttle, and we can already see that JunJia has moved up to the top side. I wonder if after this top lane wave, Gwen moves over to maybe get a little bit frisky with the Pantheon, but isn't going to be able to do so, as I suspect that Xiaoxu is just holding the lane with this Scion.
Jwei will be also not spotted out. I thought there was going to be a ward there, but no ward for Vampire, so Jwei will just simply sneak past and get a base. And I was talking with Gordo in our previous series about the red side value these days, like the the second Scuttle Crab, or I guess the third Scuttle Crab technically, giving level 6 to the jungler and having access to the dragons. I mean, IG have that, right? Giving or taking away level 6 from Pantheon is quite nice, as Gala takes pretty decent trade here for Photic at least. So IG finding some punch back in the trade. The lane isn't too unplayable right now, which is nice.
Only about 100 gold lead for now, and generally speaking, most of the lanes are doing fine. This is going to be a great trade here for Rookie, not only forcing out the shifting stands, but HongQ, no teleport. Even with the home guards, he is more than likely to miss out on some of this wave. It is going to be a fake back, though, as per usual. So he's just going to sit there, just continue to soak the wave underneath his turret. Maybe Rookie gets a plate for himself. He can maybe look. He's going to be level 6 coming up soon for this LeBlanc, so very, very dangerous for HongQ to stay.
The good news for HongQ is he can go Merc Treads this game fairly easily. I know that there is a Xin Zhao and a Yunara, but I mean, denies some of the burst again from Rookie, helps against a Gwen, and even though you can't use tenacity against knockups, it does help some of the stuns and the slows from Alistair and the other members. But JunJia is holding this wave. He wants to give it to HongQ, but he's taking a lot of damage on the side.
Oh, Gala! He just gets engaged upon by Jwei. That's a flash coming in. And he's already taken down, so no teleport, no life. He's going to miss out on this massive wave that is pushing away from them. And now IG, with the pressure that they were able to gain through mid lane with that gank that we saw, and with JunJia holding the lane, this is a good start here for IG. It's going to open up more than just a kill's worth of gold.
Step 2, Alk. Step 2. Remind Photic that he has been the best AD carry in the league at a time. Now, this is 6 minutes into game 1. Am I game 1 Andy? Yes, always. But it's a great look from Jwei and Photic finding the catch on the Gala. Photic does flash, so, you know, there is that down, but finding a kill like that in this lane, Alistair not the strongest laner, and VODS is a very strong laner. So taking down Gala, getting a gold lead for Photic is a really nice start for IG.
Ooh, and look at this right here. Wei did his Gromp, got the got the 20 on his jungle stack. So this is, again, that third scuttle that we were talking about. Now has upgraded Smite even before he finishes this, and his bot lane is just now coming back from a recall. So this could turn into Dragon. It doesn't seem like IG are really that pressed to start up the Infernal Drake. JunJia has moved top side, and Soboro does have Flash, so things might be a little bit of an overchase. There's no Hollowed Mist now, so JunJia and Xiaoxu are going to walk forward. Needlework comes out to give a little bit more healing with 1,000 cuts passes. Soboro with the slow as well, just chunking everybody from JDG away. And just using that ultimate does keep him alive for now. Wei is on his kind of moving on over.
Could say Wei's on his way.
I didn't really want to do that. I need to find different solutions for saying someone is approaching. And I would use Lila, but we haven't really indoctrinated the rest of the English chat to understand that yet. So soon we will.
We need to start, because that, I tell you, like, I don't understand Chinese, but sometimes when I happened to watch the Chinese cast of LPL, and the cast is saying Lila, with I just made me see red. I was tearing it up. When you're talking about punching through drywall before we went live, that's exactly how I felt. It just makes me go.
Careful, they're gonna think I'm some kind of like spicy boy. Look, there's no holes in this wall, okay? Not ones that weren't premeditated, like with a nail or something. So just wanna put that out there. Gotta clear my name at this point, but. Talked about playing through jungle, even if it was a little bit memey. Wei does have a camp lead by getting that bot side scuttle, now stealing away the blue buff, and also was able to protect his respawn raptors here. So despite the items being a little bit closer, if Wei can keep up this pace, he is going to be finishing his Smite rather soon. And we still have no play for objectives. I would imagine that playing for this would be to an advantage for Invictus Gaming, considering the scaling aspects of JDG's draft.
Yeah, I'm surprised that, calling back a little bit to that top lane play, I'm surprised that even though JunJia went up top and it didn't work out, even if it had, I'm surprised Wei based and tried to cover the dive really, really late. I'm surprised that there was no Dragon start with this, strong bot side with Rookie maybe threatening, because one of the biggest things about this lane is normally Azir is really good in the side lane, but not against a LeBlanc. When LeBlanc is walking through fog, that's her best time. Yeah. And there are kind of stages of it, right? Like Orianna, very bad at walking from lane to lane, very unsafe through fog. Azir is like halfway there. He's good against Orianna, but not as good as LeBlanc. When LeBlanc is walking through fog, walking from lane to lane, she's very scary. This is a very slow TP from Bard.
This was on absolutely no vision, by the way. They had no wards in this play, and now they just caught out Wei. So that's a spellbook teleport from Vampire. He'll get an assist for this, and that is HongQ picking up the first kill for JDG.
Yeah, I didn't think JDG really knew where they were going with that one, but they obviously did. Really nice ult from JunJia. Now he's back up to top lane. Playing to the Scion is a bit strange, giving your Scion some goal. I mean, the lane is pretty tough. You can already see the CS advantage that Soboro has is pretty rough to play against, but JunJia will be spotted by this pink ward. And despite the kill, I feel like IG can just do the dragon right now if they want to, or maybe when Rookie TP's back in, if he's got a first item completion, that would be really nice, and still maintain a solid control over this map.
They're pushing in bottom lane, which is part of the steps. LeBlanc, like you mentioned, does have teleport and soon to be level 9. Hard for Vampire. I mean, nobody from JDG is in the area. They used a lot of those tools to pick out Wei earlier. So, IG, within the first 10 minutes of the game, they get first blood. They get all 3 of the grubs, plus they grab the first dragon. I would say this is a fairly successful early game for them. And while we've seen JDG try to make some moves around Soboro, I think that if you're able to, you know, put Gwen behind, it makes Sion even more of a threat later on. But we're not really seeing that, and more plates going over to IG. They are very handily kind of winning this early game.
Yeah, gold leads in almost every lane except for the mid lane. Early Drake is nice, the grubs are nice too, and Gala will whiff the Chains of Corruption. Nice try. I think Photic does still have Cleanse available, so even if that did hit, it was probably just a Force of the Cleanse. He does still have it available, so yeah, unfortunate for Gala, but IG, it is only 400 gold lead, it is only 1 dragon, it is only grubs, but they look really good right now.
Control over bottom side is currently in favor of JDG, and it seems like we're going for a bit of a dive on the bottom lane. There are 4 members around this turret. I wish I could tell you what's going on my screen, but it is also probably okay, I'm doing some forbidden tech over here. All right, I'm using our producer, Ilya, because they exist 5 feet to my right. I can use their feed to kind of continue to watch the stream here. You're not missing anything, Jack. It's okay. They pretended like they were going to go for a bot lane dive, and absolutely nothing happened.
You're going to have to radio call this to me for a second. It looks like I'm back, but hopefully it's not too bad for everybody. But yeah, I think IG living through that, pretend dive, as you put it, is nice. I mean, keeping Photic at a decent position is good. And, I mean, for JDG, they do have great scaling, like you said. They have a pretty decent team fight as well. It is tough with Vampire on the Bard. Like, not because it's him. He's got the Bard pass for sure. But it is really tough into LeBlanc. It can be tough into Gwen. But, oh boy, this is chunking. Huya. We gotta add a couple more mice on the wheel, you know?
We need to run a lot more Viego ads if we want that, okay? So you better start enjoying some Revenant Viego coming on through.
My friend rolled for that skin, and it took him 80 rolls. He spent the full money.
That is a full pity roll. We're going for an invade onto the blue side jungle right now. It's a great Tempered Fate to buy time, but Jwei's in the area. Jwei has already picked up the first kill in this one. That's another knockup that's going to be happening to JunJia. So, JDG, trying to protect their own jungle, survive with their jungler with a flash, but that's a blue buff that's going to be stolen. That's a life from your support, and we have not activated any of the winning parts of this draft here for JDG. It feels like IG are kind of doing the exact prescription that we wanted for them. Play hard and fast through the jungle.
Yeah, it's all coming together. I'm feeling it. It's 13 minutes into game 1, and I'm a believer already. IG looking pretty good in this early game. Jokes aside, I think that outside of, HongQ doing well in this lane, every time we've checked in, there have been a couple of trades where Rookie's looked pretty good, but HongQ has done a really good job of living and even pushing Rookie back. But everywhere else, IG look really strong in their lanes. They have winning lane in top, like hard winning now, because we're pretty close to this first item, or maybe we've even got it when we do get traded back to the full HUD. But IG have full path here to go towards this next Drake. The red side dragon, I mean, it is genuinely, before this week, I haven't really been too convinced, but having access to the dragon, if that's how you're going to play the entire series, is really good.
Observers, please give me back my HUD. I'm begging you. I've asked you to not do too many lower thirds and replays, but, we can only ask for so much for Christmas. JunJia, you've got no flash, brother. I think you're just stuck in this pit. You're gone. JDG are trying to corral in the dragon pit, but under what pretenses? HongQ with a huge Emperor's Divide pushes the rest of IG, but where's the damage? Gala sends out a piercing arrow. That's one that's going to be found. Gala gets snapped on by the rest of IG, and that's another kill going over to Invictus Gaming. I mean, a double kill for this Yunara. Photic is now incredibly fed, 3-0-2 with the Kraken Slayer finished. They may have lost some members, but that's a huge win in terms of the Summoner spell trade here, and now IG is going to continue to get paid.
I don't even know how we ended up getting there. It is still 20 seconds until it's just a Scuttle Crab. We're just losing the game over a Scuttle Crab. JunJia's like, I smite this and then go into the pit. And that's it. Vampire doesn't have ult. Look at his ult timer. It's up now. And he uses it instantly. It only hits one. This is a great shuffle. HongQ finds a really nice shuffle, but there's not enough damage. There's no one there. If Sion was there, if JunJia was maybe still alive, that looks way better. But IG are team fighting better against a team that I think have been one of the best team fighting teams we've had in the LPL so far.
And now we're making a play on the opposite side, but I mean, this hollowed mist, the resistances you get, the needlework, also with the healing, a great flash from Soboro will not save him. Vampire will pick up that kill, but a dragon now goes over to IG as they continue to snap away resources from the rest of the map. We need to see JDG slam this top turret, and Rookie is now even going to teleport to prevent even more plates from falling. So JDG are really nickel and diming IG, but I don't think Invictus Gaming really care at this point, especially with the lead that we're seeing grow in jungle, Jwei with an almost 1,500 gold lead, and no ability for Jindong to contest this Herald.
I think like JunJia with the ult, and HongQ on the side lane, Vampire as well with the ult. They can be making a lot more catch potential plays. This isn't a real, this is a TP. We are going in.
I see, Jack, this is why I love you. You truly have a way with words. That, in fact, was a teleport. I'm really glad we were able to identify for the fans. Look, some of our fans, with the way they type in chat, I don't believe that they're actually watching the same game we are. But we're going to see an objective fight for this Herald. Jwei's going to start this up with a knock-up onto Xiaoxu. A great Tempered Fate puts 4 members. There's no Crescent Guard when we come out of this fight. And Photic now joins and is just letting hell unleash onto JDG's backline. Vampire flashes for absolutely nothing. And look, there's an Emperor's Divide that may have looked good, but gets nothing done at the end of the day. Photic's now going to be able to just throw arrows, or I guess throw little chakrams at the Sion. It's almost a full-on ace. It's a 4 for 2 in favor of IG. And look, we came out of that last replay. IG, they got the Dragon. They now immediately go into the Herald. They win a fight afterwards. This is looking by and far away an Invictus Gaming win.
I'm not really convinced that JDG is all on the same page about what they're doing. It looks like they're going to give the Herald, then Xiaoxu just TPs in, and then I'm not really exactly sure what happens here. It's a great catch from Jwei. There's a control ward there. Hex Flash goes over the wall, but HongQ is not here. He is in top lane. That is a lot of your damage in this kind of fight, right? In a longer fight, when you're poking a lot, and Gala can either one-shot somebody out of nowhere or consistently poke people like he just did there. Could snap on a Rookie. It looks great, but you need HongQ with your team. This is 2 fights in a row now where HongQ is there late. The Emperor's Divide looks good, but it's not enough to get through all of IG, who seem to be way more on the same page.
So, for this JDG composition, it is all about, can they get to objectives in time? Can they set up first? Invictus Gaming, I think, are taking advantage of the added mobility that some of their team can have, the ability for them to make picks, as we noted during the draft with this mid-jungle combo. It has majorly been Jwei, so we can maybe ask the question, where has Rookie been? He has not been doing too well. He was a big weak point for this team throughout the regular season so far, and with this LeBlanc, I think that we're hoping to see a little bit more. He does have a lot more, I think, agency is the word I would use here.
He is unlocked into, the side lane now. I agree. He has a ton of agency. Pan away from that engage there. Didn't really see what happened, but looks like, you know what, Alk? I'm gonna say something.
Go for it.
When I first, listened to you, Carson, and you said like, observers this, and I was like, it can't be that. Sometimes it is that bad. Like there is a fight going on, and we just pan top lane to watch nothing.
I mean, yeah, there's actually no notes. Wait, what are we looking for over here? The Rookie was on a flank. There's a Herald, okay, and an Emperor's Divide that I think everybody is going to probably want back. So JDG lose out on a mid turret. They'll lose a little bit of gold while they try to get something on the opposite side. What exactly is this picture-in-picture? Is this how Vampire survives?
This is what we didn't see. Oh. No, he dies. He dies.
Oh, he dies. Okay. Well,
yeah, so
this is just called MMR balancing, right? So Vampire had a really great Bard game. He has to have a stinker. It's just, this is how we balance it out.
Yeah, I mean, jokes aside, I don't really love the Bard. I was critical of it in the draft. I don't think it's that amazing this game. Like, Yunara can dash away and like has flash. Now Rookie's got spell shield plus a bajillion mobility. Vampire's had great games on the Bard. It's a catch on the Jwei.
Okay, is there much going to be found here? I mean, Pantheon just did not use his Aegis, so he doesn't even get any of the damage resistance. Rookie is tying up Gala to not be in this fight. We wanted to see HongQ and Gala be there for an objective, but I mean, at this point, you've already lost your entire front line. Azir can't hit, Vampire and Gala can't hit, so IG just get 3 kills for free. And guess what now, Jbetto? 20 minutes, there's a Baron up and available.
This is step 3, where we just put question marks everywhere. I don't know exactly what's happening, but it is turning into some profit for IG. I feel like for JDG, their front line is so disconnected from their back line. IG are just playing together. That really feels like how they're playing. It's not necessarily mechanically amazing. So, again, HongQ is not here. We're looking for a play onto Jwei, and JunJia's dead. There's the Aegis that went backwards. And it's kind of done, right? Don't look this Tempered Fate, right? This hits someone in the crowd, I think. And the backline split up, right? HongQ is not with Gala. The team fight looks so difficult for JDG, even though like this is a great team at team fighting. They have found most of their wins off of playing as 5, or at least having JunJia and HongQ play together and just running it down in a good way. But this game, it's very desynced. IG now on their 3rd Drake with Baron, leads in every lane. Most of them are 2,000 or more.
Yeah.
This game is basically done.
All right, Jack. I am going to trust that Invictus Gaming don't throw this game. And we're 22 minutes in, which I would say is a fairly fast game, all things considered, to have this much gold. We usually are seeing gold leads in around the 5,000 mark, and gold has definitely been inflated this season with how much gold that you get from the bottom lane position especially. So do you want to try your hand at a fight? I know we were kind of teasing this maybe a little bit during the pre-show. We do have 2 color casters, so if you're asking, wow, this caster just does not have the fights down pat, you can blame it on the fact that we do have 2 colors on the show. So, Jack, we do have no real objectives for the next 4 minutes. So if we get a skirmish, I'm going to let you run with it, okay?
I'm just ripping. Yeah. If you're a viewer here and you're thinking, man, this play-by-play, be prepared, because Alk is about to look way better. Not only is there that, but there's the delay, so like I see the fight after. It's a whole realm of great from me, but I'll do my best. I will say, you know, there's a lot of talent on the LPL, so it's hard to look up.
Stop coping. It's okay. Just let them experience it, okay? I don't want to sully their first Jbetto play-by-play call, okay? So let's all just be ready, and as I say, let's be in the moment. Let's let the game come to us. Now, HongQ is on the bottom side of the map pushing another wave. I expect this is him looking for maybe his 2.5 item or 3rd. He's going to recall now as we see the defense for the inhibitor turret, but no ability for IG to really skirmish. They're pushing on 2 separate lanes right now with those 3 grubs.
Yeah, JDG trying to let the game come to them, but unfortunately that means these Baron enhanced minions as well, Alk, and looks like IG only have 30 seconds of their Baron left, so they'll just get the towers that they got back away and set up for the Drake in 3 minutes from now, which is going to be Mountain Soul, most likely our next fight, and that is a big one for JDG. I mean, if you give Mountain Soul, you've got the Gwen, which is, like you highlighted it before, right? The Hallowed Mist, it's deceptively tanky, this Gwen champion. Xin Zhao's the same with the Crescent Guard, and allowing like a LeBlanc not to get one shot as well, having resistances, more resistances on Alistar.
It's just a Banshee's veil,
realm
man.
of problems.
Like, who's hitting the LeBlanc? Now
it was the W stun. It's not anymore.
True. I wanted to note, Gala does have the Edge of Night, so you had asked if we were going to see the on-hit, you get a little bit more protectiveness with the stats, but Edge of Night gives you that spell shield, so it's 1 layer. It's not great into something like Malphite, because that just means you're always going to land the headbutt combo, regardless of as to where you are. Again, you said that no objective spawning for the next 2 minutes, so I kind of did a little bit of a deep dive going into this. The last time JDG beat this Invictus Gaming organization, 2024 spring. Now, no players from that lineup are still here, but I'll just go over some of the players that were on that IG team at the time. YSKM, you should know me, Leanne, Cryin, On, and Wink. So it's been a while since we've seen this IG team lose to JDG, and even with the amazing team we had from JDG last year, wasn't able to get it done. And even with all of the fraud allegations we got from IG during the regular season, these guys really started to turn up to play. Now, kind of defending, but Jack, how does JDG ever walk into this jungle? It's all warded, and they have no control of sides.
I mean, Xiaoxu can walk in and tank a lot of damage, but there's kind of more damage than he can tank at this point. Right? If Soboro's there, which he's not, he's in top lane, but if he was there, I mean, there's just too much damage from the Gwen. This Yunara is becoming very, very strong, working on 4th item now. Doesn't even have pen. I'm very surprised. Photic's like, yeah, I don't even need it. We're that far ahead. He's got, like, Xiaoxu's got 1 armor item. It's just this Unending Despair that is different this season, so it is a full armor item. But I am a bit shocked that there's no pen from this Yunara. BT is the choice before LDR. We've got 30 seconds until this Drake. You have 3 autos worth of true damage, and you don't have 100% crit. You have 50.
You know what that means? We're kicking the can down the road. That's my Gwen's problem to deal with Xiaoxu later on. Not mine, as the Yunara. We're seeing JDG enter through the bottom side river. They're going to play with this minion wave. Now watch where and how they're able to enter. This is currently Vision being controlled. A teleport from behind. Jack, this is all you, brother.
All right, well, JDG in the bot lane, setting up priority. They push in the wave Alk, but IG stepping back around. They have this line. The Dragon's been started up. Look at Soboro on the flank. The engage on the Vampire will chunk him down to half health. The Dragon's already being chunked down 6,000 health on this Dragon. JDG have to find something. Soboro walks forward, chunks down Xiaoxu. The needles come out. JunJia to the back line onto Rookie, but it's not going to be enough. The Tempered Fate hits 3 people, but Jwei's already got the Dragon. Goes into the back. Gala flushes away. Xiaoxu's ult completely whiffs, and JDG have just fallen to pieces here. The Dragon has already been claimed Alk, and the fight never felt like it even happened.
Yeah, you had all this set up for the fight, and then JDG either not being able to set up their front line, not really able to get this Varus to really work, and that's the Soul. That's a 12,000 gold lead, and we came into this series thinking this was going to be a done and dusted, pretty easy series here for JunJia Gaming, but they're floundering on some of the best champions here in the league. Remember Varus, who are hyping up Vampire's Bard, even the Azir in a certain light, so
yeah.
Congratulations to IG. They might just make history repeat itself.
I don't really understand what's happening with this JDG team. I mean, they beat BLG back-to-back. The first time was 2-0. They beat AL as well. And now they're losing to the bottom team in the division twice. They've already lost to IG. Now they're losing game 1. There is still a potential of 2 more games, but this one is definitely done and dusted. Soboro won't even get caught.
Yeah,
his flash, he's fine.
Oh, we invested so much, and thankfully for JDG, there are no real waves to play with. There's one arriving in top side as we see Jwei start to lean towards his mid laner on the top lane. But aside from that, the lanes aren't really in a great spot. So these next 2.5 minutes are really going to dictate how much more IG are going to be ahead. It's 13,500 gold. It's really difficult to overstate how big of a lead this is for them. But somehow, some way, if JDG can stall, their only hope is that Elder in 4 minutes.
That is a long 4 minutes. Our Chains of Corruption will hit Jwei, and the WQ won't hit him at all. So that's a massive tool of burst down from Gala. And IG break open the first inhibitor. They're going to break open the second. They've still got Baron for another 2 minutes.
What are we looking for? We try to make an engage onto Photic and Jwei, and I mean, the Tempered Fate, what's the point? You let Photic, nobody's hitting him. The Tempered Fate saves him, if anything, from Xiaoxu, and a huge Emperor's Divide does nothing but completely separate all of the front line from JDG from their life bars. IG are going to take a very dominant game number 1. 29.5 minutes is going to be the game time, and a 16,000 gold lead is going to be their objective. Oh boy.
A dominant win from IG. That's a good way of summarizing how this JDG team has been. Oh boy. And there was times I thought there was a weekend. JDG might be the best team in this league after their performances against both AL and BLG. And now I mean, they still need one win to get to playoffs, right? To guarantee themselves in the playoffs. That might still not happen. I mean, IG 2-6 finding this really dominant win against JDG. And in the past, I've said this IG team really needs Rookie to come alive and pop off and before the game looks good. But Rookie was pretty quiet this game. It felt like Photic. I know that we're laughing and joking about the plan, but he really did step up.
Photic was good. I gotta say, every time when we look at IG, I think a lot of the big problem points come from this jungle support duo. This game, it felt like Jwei and Wei could do no wrong in terms of what they could do. We saw early invades. While there wasn't an immediate prioritization of the objectives, I think just the line of events that happened. Bottom lane first dragon, 3 grubs, then they recall. A couple minutes later, they get the second dragon into the Herald. I think that is an illegal line of play, especially for the type of JDG we have seen. I mean, I look at their stats here overall for the league. They are #1 in first turrets in the league at 76%. Dragon percentage, they are second in group ascend at 54. This team is overall a team that's going to be looking at just playing a slower game, playing a bit better of the map and the macro. It comes along with having Tabe as your coach, but mechanically speaking, we saw a lot of misplays from them, and this is a very weird game to talk about because IG didn't necessarily play a very aggressive style. They just got all the objectives for free almost.
Yeah, and for this JDG team, I think with the names on it, like Gala, HongQ and JunJia, and a great game from Photic, what can you say? But I do expect more individually, but I feel like one of the biggest problems here in this game was multiple times we saw JunJia going topside to try to bail out Xiaoxu from this lane. The lane, like, it doesn't matter if the Scion is more fed this game. It doesn't really matter. Gwen's still going to do what we saw in that game to Xiaoxu. And I feel like a lot more should have been done by JunJia around this bot lane. I'm not convinced by the Bard pick this game. I will say for IG, though, Jwei had a great game. There were many like Hex Flash or Flash Q, or Q Flash, W Flag, all these really nice combos from Jwei getting in to the backline. Finding these engages really set the pace for IG in this game 1.
I can maybe see an argument for JunJia as to like which lane am I actually supposed to gank, because historically LeBlanc is a champion that junglers hate to try to go into her lane to try to gank against. And I think if you are looking at this bottom lane, while it is the pressure point you want to try to leverage and maybe try to pin down for JDG, Alistar versus Pantheon is a very, very good matchup. Like, Pantheon tries to go in, you can stop him in the middle of his stun, then he has basically no abilities and you can knock him away. So it's very difficult for Pantheon to get through. If this Gwen was behind, maybe that's an angle, because I could see a world where you had mentioned Photic has no damage to kind of get through this Scion. If Scion was, 1,000 gold up, if this Gwen didn't really get to match parity in terms of items, maybe we have a different world, but we don't have to worry about that, because guess what? We live in a society, and we live in a reality anyway, that IG win game #1, and again, so important for them. You can see at the bottom of your screens, 2-6 here for Invictus Gaming. The magic number for playoffs right now for top 4 is 5 wins, and JDG, they just lost against Weibo, they just lost against AL. If they lose another one, like that is giving more breathing room for IG and top esports to make it in.
Which would be a very big difference to how the conversations were about this team earlier. If IG, they will, even if they don't make it through into playoffs directly, they'll still be in play-ins. So, again, some people think that this team might not be able to make it through. I'm not one of those people. Especially with a performance like this, it is really interesting. I don't know if interesting is the right word, but I'm going to use it anyway, of how iffy Group Ascend has been. Everyone is kind of losing to everyone, and there is no clear #1, and that's not because they're all close. They're all so good. It's because they're all making big mistakes at crucial moments.
They're learning in the new season. Everybody's doing a little bit of learning here in Season 26. Player of the game, I think you probably could make a pretty big argument that it's going to be Jwei. Had one of the biggest gold leads between him and his opponent. And
I'm going to say Jwei.
Jwei? Okay.
Damn
Wrong
it.
one. We'll take the J off the front, and you're essentially right at that point. So 6-1-10. Look, big MVP for the man in the jungle. We had a lot of expectations coming out of that Demacia Cup championship, but weren't able to translate that to early success. Maybe that was just them trying to reintegrate Rookie. Renard obviously did wonders for them in that tournament, so we'll see whether or not we can get a little bit more juice to squeeze from this IG-11. But we're going to kick it to a short break here. We'll be back in just a few moments to see the continuation of this JDG and IG series.